just after the Israeli attacks on the Gaza flotilla aid ship, the continued occupation and blockading of the Gaza Strip. We continue to be active on the streets in support of Palestine and against the support that Britain gives to Israel in funding and arming them to carry out their attacks on people in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank combined. Every Thursday we have a picket outside Marks and Spencer's. Why Marks and Spencer's? Well, Marks and Spencer's is the biggest British corporate supporter of Israel. In 1999, in his book The M&S Way, the M&S ex-chairman Marcus Saif wrote that aiding the economic development of Israel is our main objectives. So what you have here is a company that have what as one of their main objectives to aid the economic, political development of Israel. This is not a company who are just interested in trading with Israel to line their own pockets, to make profits, like the majority of companies do. This is a company that politically supports the state of Israel and what it is doing occupying Palestine. And this is linked to Britain because Britain, from 1918, when it signed the Balfour Declaration, basically handing over a land that wasn't Britain's to the creation of Israel in 1945. Britain has funded and armed Israel. Without Britain and without the US, there would not be an Israel like there is in Israel today. So we're here on this Saturday having to speak out against racism. We're inviting anyone to speak out, use this microphone, use this platform, use this microphone, use our city centre to speak out. But also we invite people to join us in a weekly picket outside Marks and Spencer's every Thursday, 5 till 7, to protest against British support for the Israeli state war machine. We demand that Britain end support for Israel. Once again, this is an open microphone, and I invite anyone and everyone who wants to come and speak out. Speak out against racism. It's not just on any particular theme that you want to speak about, that you feel strongly about when it concerns racism. It might be that you're angry about the fact that not just now with a Conservative government, but before with a Labour government as well, that the government have continued to attack our healthcare. They've continued to privatise our education. They're kicking people off benefits left, right and centre. They're trying to make out that all people who are claiming benefits are some way involved in fraud. They're trying to fraud people and trying to fraud the working people. Whereas actually what is happening is that year upon year the government keeps pouring millions and millions of pounds into war, into Afghanistan and Iraq, killing not only the soldiers who are often, it's never the majors or the colonels who are on the front line, it's always the poorest people from working class backgrounds who join the army, but also they're being used as pawns to butcher and murder innocent people, children, women, men, families, destroy and razing whole villages. You might be angry about that, you might want to speak about that. That is what this microphone is here for. You might know someone, like I know quite a few people, who have been deported. I had a friend from Afghanistan who was an asylum seeker, and he came to this country. He worked so hard to learn English, to get a qualification, to apply for citizenship. But you know what the immigration system said to him? He had letters. He had letters. There was evidence that the Taliban were looking for him to try and kill him. And also, he'd been physically assaulted, attacked, and put in prison, in Kandahar prison. We're talking about Kandahar, one of the most dangerous areas in Afghanistan. He managed to come to Britain to seek asylum because he thought, well, Britain is in Afghanistan. They say they're trying to help us. I need help, so I'm going to come to Britain. And then they turned round to him and said that at the moment they're not accepting any letters, any documents as evidence from Afghanistan to support an asylum claim because some documents have been seen to be fraudulent. So that basically gives them the ability to deport any and all asylum seekers back to Afghanistan without any, doesn't matter what documents you have, doesn't matter what evidence you have, they're just discounting that. You may as well just throw it in the bin and be deported back to Afghanistan. And that is what happened to him. And he is now back in Kandahar, hiding, running for his life once again. And this is what Britain is doing in Afghanistan. And then when people flee these wars and they come to Britain to seek asylum, which is their right underneath the UN Convention of 1951, when they come to seek their asylum, which is their right, then they get subjected to dawn raids when the police come and break down people's doors at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, take whole families. They get subject to being put in immigration prisons where there is hardly any access to health care, where there is frequent outbreaks of sickness and diarrhea, scabies, diseases that are completely preventable. And do you know what the immigration people, the immigration officers say to women in these hospitals, in these immigration prisons, when their children are sick and they're asking even if they could just have a paracetamol so the baby could get some sleep? They say, well, if your child is dehydrated from this sickness and diarrhea bug, then give them some water. That is what the health system is like inside these immigration prisons. And this is Britain, a country that goes around saying that it has record human rights, a country that says it brings civilization and democracy. And this is what we are here today to speak out against. This microphone is an open microphone. We invite all and any anti-racist to come and speak out about whatever you want to speak out about. It can be against the war, can be against the treatment of asylum seekers, can be against the scare tactics that the government is trying to use to separate and divide us and make us fight over the scraps. But please, come and use this space. These are our streets, this is our city centre, this is our platform to speak out against racism, and we all need to take this opportunity to use it. Thank you.